Alright, so here's my weekly update on my bikini pre-prep and week. I think I just finished up week 5 of the Sculpted Vegan Ultimate Shred. In terms of weight, I haven't done my measurements yet, but I just checked on MyFitnessPal, and I'll show you here in a second. I took the average weight for the week, and last week it was 150.2, which was down almost 2 pounds from the week before's average weight. And so yeah, I've been dropping about 2 pounds a week, somewhere between 1.5 2 pounds a week for the last couple of weeks. And this week was the same thing. I did drop another roughly 2 pounds, so my average weight for the week was 147.8. So like I thought, like now that the calories are going down, I am starting to drop weight. I'll talk about this after I do my measurements, but this was the worst week in terms of me staying on the meal plan. And it wasn't that I was kind of like going crazy eating lots of like bad food. It was just I wasn't eating exactly the foods on the meal plan, and I wasn't eating as much as I was supposed to, just because I don't know if this week, like it's just harder for me. I just couldn't stomach the foods as much. So I dropped weight, but I also wasn't eating quite as many calories as I was supposed to, I don't think. But, and I also wasn't eating, the calories that I was eating wasn't within like the macro breakdown of what my plan technically has. So, yeah, so I'll just hop on to MyFitnessPal and my Fitbit app and just kind of show you a little bit about what's going on there so far. Okay, so here we go. I'm not wearing my heels this week because I wore them a lot like during the week, and I've got like a blister on my foot and they hurt, so I wore them last week, so this may look a little bit different just because of that, but here we go. So I, again, don't see a whole lot of visible changes yet. I guess we'll see when I do my side-by-side from the beginning. I don't want to do that yet. I want to just kind of wait until like the end and just maybe be a little bit surprised that there's a transformation, hopefully. I do feel like my butt is becoming maybe my back, I don't know. Let's see my back. I do feel like my butt is becoming a little bit more defined, and because this is a very heavy like glute workout, we do glutes 3 times a week, so yeah, I'd be surprised if that wouldn't be one of the more predominant things that changes on my body. But yeah, so I'm going to change out of these bottoms because again, these are super tiny, and I will do my my actual measurements. Okay, so like always, let's start with the chest. Last week around my band here, it was 31.5. Here, and this week it is 31. And that's where it was 2 weeks ago, so mark that down. All right, I do feel like I mentioned before, like my chest is typically the first thing to like grow and shrink whenever I lose weight. And there was another girl in the Facebook group that was talking about how she hasn't really noticed much of a difference in her pants or her weight and stuff, but a friend of hers had made a comment that like her face, she could tell it in her face, and she's like, well, maybe it's going from top down, my face and then my chest. Oh, yeah, this is the first time I think it's been below 37. So it looks like it's 36 and 3/4 on my chest. Yeah, this is the first time it's been below 37. All the places to lose. Anyway, let's check out the waist. Last week, my waist had gone down a little bit. So let's see this week. Oh, it did. Did I lose an inch on my waist? I wrote down 33 last week. Okay, 32. But again, I wasn't eating all the calories that I was supposed to, so you know, this program, it's supposed to like slowly drop you down. You're supposed to be building muscles. So, but my roommate, I keep telling him that. I'm like, oh, I'm not eating as much as I'm supposed to. And he's like, just lose the weight. Just lose the weight. It's no big deal. But I want to try to do it right. Like, I want to try to like really be building muscle, you know, while I'm doing this. So let's see. Here's the hips. Last week it was 41.5. Oh, yeah. This is the first time my hips have been below 4. So I did lose quite a bit this week, actually. So it's like 40 3/4. Wait. Yeah, it's like 40 3/4 now. So, yeah, first time my waist has been below 41. Or hips. But I knew this week and next week was when I was probably really going to start seeing the most substantial changes, because these are the first weeks that it's really getting like below what my maintenance calories are. And then my thighs are still, wait, what did I have? Okay, yeah, 22 3/4 last week, and now it's 22 1/4. So yeah, I lost everywhere, it looks like. Okay, so now let me look this over and talk a little bit more about how the week went. Okay, so I thought I just filmed like this whole video and I realized that it wasn't recording, but Thomas, no, oh my gosh, guys, sorry. Tommy, this is my cat Biscuit. She's beautiful. We know, Biscuit, you're so pretty. But so let me try to remember what I was saying while it wasn't recording. So yeah, this is the first week that I've seen like a more substantial loss in my measurements, but I think there may have been a pretty big loss when I was doing the alternate day fasting. But if you go back to some of those videos, like the alternate day fasting doesn't seem like it's something that will be sustainable for me, because it was really easy the first couple of weeks, and then I think when it got to that point in my cycle where I'm just naturally more hungry, it was a real struggle for me. I know it works for some people, but I don't know, for me, I don't think I want to do alternate day fasting. But yeah, and this one, like, this was the most substantial loss I saw, but at the same time, I feel like I kind of cheated on it because I wasn't eating all of the calories and I wasn't eating exactly what was on the meal plan. So I lost weight in inches, but I just had fewer calories, you know? And I was also pushing harder at the gym, And I think maybe because I was eating more carbs at night, I was able to work harder at the gym. Or I don't know, there's just certain weeks where it seems like it's easier to push myself at the gym, and some weeks it's not. So I don't know. Like, I think with all of this, you've really got to look at like the long term and how things go over the long term, especially being a woman and having like a hormone cycle, and things just naturally change over the course of a month. So I don't know. It's interesting. But another thing that I think is interesting since I've started this is that I thought I was a person that just had like a weird eating schedule, because I never, and I don't know if it was because I was raised, my mom never really like made us breakfast, and so I never really like ate breakfast, and I always, for most of my life, just did kind of a intermittent fasting sort of thing, and I would just eat like a big meal at night. And you know, I noticed pretty early on in this, I started getting hungry for breakfast, and so I was eating the breakfast. I was eating the oatmeal pretty early on every day between like 7 and 10. And I've kept doing that. And then a couple weeks ago, I started getting a little bit hungry at like 2 or 3. And so I would do my protein shake at like 2 or 3. And then I would combine my lunch and dinner all together. And that worked out for like a month for me, because I was able to eat all of that food at night. But Tom, you are being so distracting. But yeah, this last week it just didn't. Oh my gosh, Thomas, am I gonna have to kick you out? Am I gonna have to kick you out? No. But yeah, so this last week it just wasn't happening for me, and I don't know for what reason. I think I was just I don't know. And so what I think I'm going to do next week, because it's the same meal plan, and I do want to try to follow the meal plan, right? Like, that's what the coaches keep saying, is like, follow the plan, try to follow it as close as possible. If you do that, you're going to see the best results. And so I do want to try to do that. And this week I was just craving fruit. I was craving fruit. This was the first time that I actually had a craving for something that wasn't like, that was a little bit unhealthy. I had a craving for fries one day, but it wasn't as bad as like cravings I've had in the past. It was just kind of one day I was like, I kind of like some French fries today. I didn't, but I did eat fruit. So it seemed like I was craving carbs a little bit more this week than usual. But yeah, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, so what's kind of interesting to me is I went from, you know, over a month ago being the person that's like, oh, I just don't eat breakfast, it's just how I am, and I typically just eat like a big meal at night, to now I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna try eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner like a normal person. And we'll see how that works. So yeah, that's my plan this week. Instead of just combining my lunch and dinner, I am going to separate the lunch from the dinner, and that will put me closer to the actual meal plan. We'll see if I end up following through with that. I think part of the reason I don't eat really lunch is I just forget about eating. If I'm busy working, and even if I get hungry sometimes, if I'm busy working, I just don't think about going and getting food. So maybe I need to set a timer or something to keep me on track in terms of eating, because there was a couple days this week that I didn't even have like the protein shake for lunch, because I didn't really get hungry and I forgot. So maybe I should set a timer on my phone or something, but I'm going to try to stick to it this week. I'm going to try to stick to the plan. Just because that's what they say in the group to try to do to get the best results. So yeah, but I am seeing results this week. So I do feel like, okay, let me show you mine. If I can get Tom. Go on. No, go on the floor. Stay. Okay, so I feel like I am, he's back. I feel like I am making progress in my... Thomas! Okay, stay still. I do feel like I'm making progress in my... You can't really see it in this light, but my biceps, and my roommate says my shoulders are looking pretty good. And I do feel like my butt is getting a little bit more lifted, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I've been pushing harder in the gym. My roommate's been helping me to push a little bit harder, pushing me to do like a couple extra reps at the end. I've been moving up on my weight. It's not like drastic. You know, you see girls on TikTok and they're lifting these massively heavy weights. Even in the group, these girls are posting like videos of them doing these weights, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not anywhere near there yet, but I am moving up and I do feel stronger. The stuff is getting easier, so yeah, I feel good. So this is the halfway point. Week 6 starts tomorrow. I got 6 more weeks left, and oh wait, I guess when I finish week 6, that'll be the halfway point, but so far so good. I'll look at, I always say this, I say I didn't take a whole lot of clips. I really don't think I took a whole lot of clips this week. I did take some clips of me meal prepping, so you'll see how I prepped those meals, and it was just a huge bowl of food, and I just was not able to finish it. So so yeah, I'll find whatever clips I have and throw those in. But yeah, not bad. We'll see how this turns out in the end. But I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll be back next Sunday with my next update. All right, so I'm doing my meal prep. It's Sunday, October 9th, I think. Doing my meal prep for the week. So yesterday I went ahead and made my seitan. So this is another heavy seitan week. I think this is the first week I don't have tofu actually. And so like we're supposed to have like this one type of seitan for lunch, and then this is a different type of seitan for dinner. This one has lentils and mushrooms and tomato paste in it, and it's actually really good. I like this one. And then I've got my broccoli measured out for the whole week, and then lentils, and then spinach. And so this isn't going to be super accurate. It'll be accurate for the whole week, but not necessarily for the day. But it just seems like it's way easier for me to measure it out and then portion it out like this. So I've got my 6 bowls for the 6 days, and I'm just going to try to portion these out as close as equal in each of these bowls. And then I also I've got some portobello mushrooms. So we're supposed to eat 2 portobello mushrooms a day too. So I've got them baking right now. So I'm going to start portioning these out in the bowls, and then I will put the mushrooms on top when they're finished. All right, so it's done, and this looks like a lot of food. So I'm kind of excited. I really like mushrooms, so I'm kind of anxious to get into this new meal this week. And so what I'm gonna do now, since it's Sunday and it's my refeed day, I'm gonna start cooking my food for the refeed. So far today I've had, it starts with 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter. And then I'm gonna do what I normally do, I guess, and just kind of put all the other food at the end of the night. I do change up the meal plan a little bit on this day just because I miss fruit a lot. I'm not craving as fruit actually quite as much as I was last week, so I might not have as much fruit as I did last week. So I'm just gonna start putting my dinner together and see what it comes out to be. Okay, so this week the meal plan said for Beyond Meat burgers, but they didn't have any at the store, so I found some Impossible sausage. So I'm having a serving of that, and then I had some leftover tofu from some meal prep last week, I think. So I'm going to, oh no, it was for making the seitan, because there was actually tofu in the meatloaf within seitan. And so I'm just cooking the leftovers. I also had some leftover lentils from where I measured out my lentils. And then I'm going to add that with some asparagus spears. And then I've got a bunch of fruit. And then I've also got a bagel. So I'll show you the meal when I have it all put together later tonight.